Hare Krishna devotees, I'll start with the Mangala Charan prayers. Om Aggana Timirandhassa Jananjaya Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnaprasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Pashtakshastarine Vanchakalpatarupascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, Hare Krishna devotees, we were hearing the lecture of Raghunath Das Goswami, and we heard yesterday about a trickery he performed. Today we are going to hear from Maharaj about trickery, how much of it is allowed in spiritual realm. Only 7 minutes of this lecture is left. After that, I will move to Jiva Goswami's lecture, because the second lecture, which was of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, that is not audible. So after completing this lecture, I will be moving to Jiva Goswami's lecture.
From being, put in a prison under the custody of a prison guard. He did something tricky to get free. So this is a little discussion on when is it okay, is it ever okay to do trickery, in case you have to encounter. The general rule is, no, you don't do trickery. You be straightforward in all of your activities. We know in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada writes about Vaishyas. Vaishyas will, it's almost a prerequisite. Not, it's very common for persons who are Vaishyas to stretch the truth about things. Prabhupada made a comment. One of the things that a Vaishya will do is say, you rub this on your head and it'll make your hair grow. Or, sir, for you I make no profit. That's another one. And Vaishyas live by making profit. But if they say, for you I'm making no profit, it's stretching the truth. It's not honest. But right in Bhagavad Gita, Vaishyas may do like that. And above the Vaishya is the Brahmana, and the Brahmana doesn't speak anything other than the truth. That's one of the outstanding hallmark, essential qualities of a Brahmana, is their truthfulness. And the mature stage of the Brahmana is a Vaishnava. And generally speaking, Vaishnavas will speak the truth. But wait a minute, we see Raghunath is saying something different. Sanatana Goswami is saying something different. And then we come to the platform of Shuddha Bhaktas. Well, that's Raghunath. And that's Sanatana Goswami. So for the way that is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita is, when there is in fact a higher purpose, the pleasure of Krishna to be served, then in special circumstances, when one is in the Shuddha Bhakta platform, one may do something a little different. And then you'll find there's some trickery. Then we're going to spend a little bit of time speaking about eternal associates of Krishna in Braja, and it's kind of one of the things they do regularly. We'll give some examples. Here's a classic example from Sri Vaishnavism. In one of the Alvars, the founders of the writings and teachings of the Sri Sampradaya, one of them is Tirumangai Alvar, celebrated story. He, along with some disciples, came across this now, at that time then, deteriorated Sri Ranganath temple. So they took it upon themselves to go door to door and ask wealthy people to contribute something to restore the temple. They declined. And so he took another tricky tact. Tirumangai and his 4 disciples became a gang of robbers. His first disciple would entangle the materialists in the net of arguments. Tarka, Chudamani was his name. And while they were engaged in argument, the second disciple, Dwara Unmochaka, he'd open the door of the treasury house. And the third disciple, Chaya Graha, made everyone motionless. And then his 4th disciple, Jalo Parichara, entered the palaces that were surrounded by deep moats and plundered all their wealth. So they did a robbery program. And, that wasn't for themselves. It was for restoring the temple. And after the temple was restored, there's a whole story of what was done in order to, make everything stop. But Chaya Graha, one of his disciples' names, whoever was touched by his shadow became immobile. And Jalo Parichara, he could walk on water. And the end result was they built the Ranganath temple. Of course, the Ranganath deity is there, but they built what you see today, and pretty fantastic, what you see there today. And the architecture is just amazing. But, it took some wealth to do it, and that's what they used the wealth for, not for any of their personal purposes. An extreme example, but it's an example. Here's a nice example from description given by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur on the history of the Suryadev deity. Now, when we were doing our virtual Vrindavan Yatra, we discussed this topic. So some of you are familiar with it, but those of you that are not, it's a nice narration. There is a description that one time Krishna was so absorbed in his activities with Radharani and the other gopis that he didn't even notice that his flute, which is normally tucked in his waistband, fell out. So Lalita found the flute, scolded the flute, saying, "You're hard, and you just have holes, and you grow from the mud by the side of a river, and who are you anyways, and you cause so much trouble. I'm going to teach you a lesson." And she put the flute in her braid. And then the story goes on. Krishna didn't notice. The next day, Krishna and Radha were together, and they were playing a game, a gambling game. Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivijagacharya Astatarasatasi Srimad His Divine Grace Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda Ki Gaur Premanandi. in the middle part of the day, we spent some time discussing the appearance of Lord Vamanadev, Vamana Dwadasi. Nice discussion. And this evening, we're going to be discussing the life of Jiva Goswami because it's his appearance day. And Jiva Goswami, for those persons that are a little bit new, he is one of the immediate followers behind, chronologically, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So should I describe a little bit who was Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and go from there? You know who was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? You'd like to hear something. You know who is Krishna? Everybody knows who is Krishna. Good. Good starting point. The concluding instruction of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is Sarvadharmam parityaja mamekam charanam braja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayashyami masuchaha. You know the verse too. Fantastic. Aham tvam. And then the meaning? Okay, here's the meaning. Sarva dharmam. Dharma means religious duties. Dharma. Right? Dharma means religious duties. So all religious duties, place them in a position subordinate to one principle that they're all in pursuance of. That one principle is Mam Ekam Sharanam. Sharanam means surrender. Mam Ekam, me alone. Ekam means one. Mam Ekam Sharanam. Surrender to me, that's it. All other things are pursuant to that one thing. Because it's through surrender to Sharanam, surrender unto Krishna, that we can have access to his devotional service. And through devotional service, Bhaktyamam abhijanati yavanyasyasmi tatvataha. One can know Krishna, tatvataha, in truth. So that's the concluding instruction of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Surrender to me, all other dharmas, they're secondary. Krishna's pastimes took place towards the end of the previous Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and shortly after his departure, the present Yuga begins, Kali Yuga. And Krishna began to consider, in this Kali Yuga, who's going to understand how to surrender unto me? Kali Yuga is not a good time. Manda samanda matayo manda bhagya upadruta. It's a very, very unfortunate set of circumstances in the age of Kali. And people, they won't easily understand. So I want to do something to help them understand how to. Sarva dharmam parityajamam ekam sharanam. So I could send some representative, but if I came myself and taught how to surrender to Krishna, I'd have to come as a devotee of Krishna. So that's what I'll do. So he appeared, Krishna himself, as the devotee of Krishna. That's who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he came in the bhava and duty the mood and the luster of Radha. So golden complexion. In the mood of Radha, in her love for Krishna, to teach how to love Krishna, how to surrender to Krishna. Who's better at that than Radharani? And Lord Chaitanya, in the mood of Radharani, taught this, the form of love as found in Vrindavan. Because there's this nice description that Golokanamni nijadamni tale chatasya Devi Maheshu Haridamasu Teshu Teshu. So the description is given in Brahma Samhita. There's Devi Dham, and above Devi Dham is Mahesh Dham, and above Mahesh Dham is Hari Dham, the abode of Hari, Vaikuntha, and above Vaikuntha Dham is Goloka Dham. Goloka Dham is where Krishna resides eternally, and the associates of Krishna in Goloka Dham have a very unique, singularly unique type of love for Krishna. It's a love that's very intimate and personal and very sweet, madhurya, relationship with Krishna. So Lord Chaitanya wanted to teach that. And he had, when Krishna comes, he doesn't come alone. He comes with all of his associates and everything, his holy abode and all. He doesn't come alone. So amongst Lord Chaitanya's many, many, many very elevated, amazingly elevated associates were 6 principal personalities who were making Krishna's home in Vrindavan their home. They lived in Vrindavan at the later stages of their life. And one of those was Jiva Goswami, one of the 6. And he was very young compared to the others. Well, he and another, Raghunath Das, they were both quite young compared to the others. So here's we're going to describe something of his life. Jiva Goswami's father and his father's 2 brothers were, his 2 uncles, his father's 2 brothers, were the chief amongst those 6 Goswamis. So he had a very elevated birth. Rupa and Sanatan Goswami were from Saraswat Brahmin families from South India that had migrated for different reasons, heading to Ramakeli in the northern parts of India, in northern parts of then Bengal, Ramakeli. And there was at that time, the country was ruled by a Muslim ruler named Nawab Hussain Shah. And Nawab Hussain Shah was a mean person, and he was also very clever. So he understood, if I want to rule this territory and further conquer further kingdoms, I have to be able to control the people. So he saw in these 3 brothers, Rupa, Sanatan, and Anupam, who's Jiva Goswami's brother, all the people in this country look up to them because they're Vaishnavas, they're great, elevated, educated, respectable, looked up to persons. So he approached them and said, I would like to make you Prime Minister and Finance Minister and Home Minister in my government. And I'll give you a choice. You can either do that or I'll torture all the Vaishnavas in the countryside. Do you think it over? Let me know what you'd like. And they didn't want either of them, but they didn't want the Vaishnavas to be tortured. So they took up the role of assisting him in his government so he could go off with his armies and conquer new territories. And it was very practical. With the exception, and they said they moved in an aristocratic circle, very wealthy people, this and that. They were well educated, and this and that. They spoke. The eldest brother spoke 7 languages fluently, and he was really good.
Hare Krishna, it's 6:50, so we will pause here. Shulochana Mataji, in fact, I tried the second lecture, but it was not coming audible. So with Shamkun Prabhu's permission, I just started playing the A1. I can just try the other lecture just to see if what you are saying is correct. You are saying at 4:41 minutes it is playing.
Mataji, that lecture at 4:41 minutes, audio is there, Mataji. Till 4:40 minutes, it's not there.
Oh, but I was seeing movement of Maharaja's mouth. But anyway, this is that lecture from 4:41. Let me just try here.
41 minutes is there.
Chanted by you.
Yes, Mataji, you are right. So, Shamkun Prabhu, what do we do? Tomorrow, do I continue with the Jiva Goswami lecture or should I play this second lecture, Prabhu?
We'll complete the second lecture first.
I can say that play the second lecture. Okay, thank you. Okay, now coming back to whatever little we heard today, any volunteers would like to mention anything they like from the previous day's lecture? A little bit of Raghunath Das Goswami's lecture and Jiva Goswami's lecture. Geeta Mataji, can you please mute your microphone? You have kept it on since morning actually. Hare Krishna. Kumarika Mataji, can we hear from you anything from today's lecture? Hare Krishna. Harisham Prabhu, yes, I can see your hand. Please go ahead, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I like the one point which Maharaj, the way he actually introduced Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like during that, he was mentioning this verse from Bhagavad Gita. It's a very famous verse, Charma Shloka, Sarvadharman Parityajya. So here Maharaj said, if you look at the translation, Srila Prabhupada's translation Bhagavad Gita, like you'll find abandon all varieties of religion and take shelter of Krishna. Like it comes something like that. But when Maharaj spoke, he didn't say abandon all varieties of religious duties or actions. So instead, he says everything should be subordinate to one principle. Right? That is the process of surrendering to Krishna. Everything is subordinate to it. He didn't directly say like just as abandon or give up. So, but if you go and if you go and read the purport of Srila Prabhupada, actually Srila Prabhupada also puts the same point in a very in a indirect. He also mentions the same thing, though the translation says abandoned. But if we read the purport, actually Prabhupada would also say the same thing. Just want to read it out. Just give me a minute. I kind of missed it. Okay, here. So the translation goes something like this: Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. In the purport, if you see, like Prabhupada will write, in the 7th chapter, it was said that only one who has become free from all sinful reactions can take to the worship of Lord Krishna. Thus, one may think that unless he is free from all sinful reactions, he cannot take to the surrendering process. To such doubts, it is here said that even if one is not free from all sinful reactions, simply by the process of surrendering to Sri Krishna is automatically freed. There is no need of strenuous effort to free oneself from sinful reactions. One should unhesitatingly accept Krishna as the supreme savior of all living entities with faith and love, and one should surrender unto him. So, before this is the second paragraph of his purport. The first paragraph says, the Lord has described various kinds of process of knowledge and has described various kinds of knowledge and process of religion, like that he gives. In the second paragraph, he says like this. So he clearly here also Prabhupada indirectly says, okay, though the process of karma yoga, the process of like varna ashrama system, everything is given, like Krishna spoke about it, but the second paragraph, Prabhupada makes it sure everything is actually subordinate to this original principle of taking shelter in the process of bhakti. So that's what like Maharaj also like did the same thing, I would say. Rather than going with the literal translation of abandon or rate of religion, he mentioned that that everything is subordinate to one core principle of bhakti. That's it, Mataji. That's what I would share.
Thank you, Prabhu. It's a very nice point mentioned, and it actually gives people like us a lot of hope that if we can just stick to the surrender part, then probably we can move to this line. Thank you, Prabhu, for sharing your views. Ashok Prabhu, would you like to share anything from today's lecture? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So here in the second lecture, Jeva Goswami, I like for that actually when people who are attending, if they doesn't know, like they don't know, means Maharaj is generally anywhere like setting a frame like who he is. So exactly is explaining before is going to the main topic. So that I like very much, Mataji. Yes, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, in fact, very nicely you explained about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which Harisham Prabhu also said. I also like that part very much, that he basically came, Krishna himself coming as a devotee in the mood of Radharani, and to show how to surrender to Krishna. So that was really very nice. Thank you, Prabhu, for your sharing. Vivek Prabhu, you would like to say anything from this lecture? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Maharaj, one particular interesting things that before start of the class, he would ask and see the level of audience. Then he's ready to repeat the same thing a number of times. He has absolutely um, nothing to saying that, oh, I have already repeated and I cannot say, but he has so same enthusiast mood and same love to explain about Krishna, then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then come to the topic of Jiva Goswami. So that shows that Maharaj has so much of love explaining, describing the pastimes, because he personally taste that nectar which has unlimited, because Krishna Katha has like Parikshit Maharaj, when he was hearing 7 days and 7 nights, absolutely he was has no any taste for eating and sleeping and drinking as well. So like this great acharyas, they have so much of love and appreciation that there is no any other thought that, oh, I have already repeated, and there is no any nectar in that. In any time of that he read and hear, they get the same nectar, because Krishna is always fresh and dynamic. regarding this trickery point, was it the class was completed or it was um,
Yes,
finished? I mean,
Prabhu, it was till that much only. So abruptly it actually ended. He was mentioning about that story that Lalita kept the flute of Krishna.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, but then suddenly it was only that much is there in the lecture, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So,
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for sharing also, Hare Krishna. Vivek
and
Prabhu?
also,
Yes, Prabhu.
Maharaj hero is a Jiva Goswami, and he always mentioned now when we hear Maharaj speaking Jiva Goswami, you can see that so much of happiness, and that's because Maharaj likes Jiva Goswami.
Okay, that we will get to hear in the lecture, Prabhu. Okay, thank you, Prabhu, for your sharing. Vivek Prabhu, can we hear from you from today's lecture, Hare Krishna?
Is the voice audible, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu, you're audible. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So like all devotees shared very nicely. So that point where Maharaj sets up the context, he's encouraging the audience who are there and he's assessing their level of understanding. And when he went back, and when he said, "Do you know Krishna?" Then when most of them said yes. And I like the way when Maharaj said that's a good starting point. For knowing Krishna is a very good starting point. So that point I like. And how nicely Yugal Kishore Prabhu appreciates Maharaj of when Maharaj speaks about Krishna, although the same thing you would have told in the previous class, in this particular class, also he starts with the same level of enthusiasm, but he also understands the concept of time. So he summarizes what needs to be told in a very nice manner, and then he moves on to the next topic. That's another point, isn't it? And the pastime of Thirumangai Alvar, where they had to stretch the truth a little bit, and they went to the extent of trying to take things from the rich people in to to build the Ranganath temple, so in the service of the Lord. So how much can you stretch the truth? Maharaj said, not at all, but in the service of the Lord. So that point also I like. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, regarding trickery, he says if it is for a higher purpose and it's on a Shuddha platform, then it is allowed, otherwise it is not. That point I also like. Thank you, Prabhu, for your sharing. Rana Vallabh Prabhu, can we hear from you? Hare Krishna.
No, Mataji, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Sweta Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Mataji, actually, even I was really impressed by the fact that how Maharaj is trying to find a common background. I mean, if someone asks me this basic question, like now when I don't know anything, if someone asks me who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my basic reaction will be, oh my God, from where I have to start? Uh, and the natural doubt will come in me whether whatever I am going to say, this person will not even understand this, because I mean I will go with my assumption that since there is the common background is very less, the person whom I'm trying to speak something will not understand anything. I will assume something like this, and I probably will not go ahead in speaking. But then that was just the vice versa. So that was a big thing for me. Like that we talk about the quality of the devotees, like they are always full of energy, full of hope. They are never disappointed. So that was something I could relate to, that uh, like where I can be disappointed, Maharaj is actually full of energy. So thank you, Madhuri. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. He has in fact so many qualities, Maharaj. So this was again, yes, a very nice quality of it. Thank you, Mataji, for sharing. Sonali Mataji, you had raised your hand. Please go ahead, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. So I have a very small point to share here. That is my takeaway. So Maharaj asked a child to recite the verse he was knowing. So, and then the next question Maharaj asked is, do you know the meaning? So what I understood is we should give the meanings to the kids as well. So this was the takeaway for me.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah,
Mataji.
thank you.
Yes, thank you, Hare Krishna. Any other volunteers from today's class who would like to say before we hand it over to Shamkun Prabhu? Any quick comments one or two devotees would like to make? Shamkun Prabhu, I think you can we can hear from you. Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Very good. One from yesterday's class, and maybe one from today. We noticed in Raghunath Das Goswami and also in Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami that they were intensely attracted to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So much so that they could set aside everything else and undertake a perilous journey. I mean, they had to avoid the soldiers of the king, etc. They had to do all of that to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Quite often we question, can I also get that attraction? Is it possible at all? And we sometimes berate ourselves or we beat ourselves saying, I don't have that kind of attraction at all. But what we miss out on the point is that kind of attraction is cultivated in general for us who are practicing or apprenticeship type devotees over several births also. So the way we are doing right now is nice in that we are hearing about them. We are cultivating an attraction for their quality of attraction to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And by we by genuinely appreciating their appreciation for Mahaprabhu, their dependence and their sense of belongingness to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu may give it to us too. And of course, that alone is insufficient. That is why Srila Prabhupada has given us the task like uh, the chanting of the holy name. He has also given us the task of reading Srimad Bhagavatam every day. He has also given us the task of becoming an instrument to spread the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and serve his deity. All these things, different things that he has given, these things help to get the attraction. I mean, my main point was there is no point in saying I don't have. It takes time, and to expected that today one will have that kind of current and commitment to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as what Raghunath Das Goswami had. That was one point. The second point was something which Harisham Prabhu also said yesterday, just adding to it there that Mahaprabhu's instruction to Raghunath Das Goswami was that you stay in household life, enjoy as much as is necessary, and when the time is ripe, you come to me. Something like that. And Harisham Prabhu elaborated on the point that this shouldn't be taken as a license for wanton enjoyment. And that's very much true, especially in Grihastha life. That's there. And we also see the other end of the spectrum sometimes that there are devotees who like the sacrifice aspect in spiritual life. Maybe they were yogis in their previous life. Maybe they were impersonalists also in their previous life. And they like self abnegation or they like the aspect of uh, denying basic comforts, denying no, not even comforts, basic necessities too for their body. Like some people very much like to do fasting. Some people like to serve till they drop dead, kind of a thing. It's a nice sentiment. But there's one thing which was key part in Mahaprabhu's statement that a grahastha who focuses too much on thinking that sacrificing is the core essence of connecting to God may end up in making others also sacrifice when they are not ready, like his or her children and other family members. And therefore, a grahastha has to be more compassionate towards others' enjoyment while also noting carefully how much is to use as much as is required for his devotional service. Too much of um, what's the right word? Too much of austerity actually kills the spirit of devotional service. Too little of austerity only takes us to the path of sense gratification. It is neither this nor that. So we had to be careful of it. And we see that Raghunath Das Goswami heard this instruction and yet he didn't follow this instruction. He knew when to leave. He was mature enough to know that this applied to him as long as he was there with his parents in Bengal. And thereafter, he had to let go of this instruction and go for a higher instruction. This very same Raghunath Das Goswami would just was renunciation personified. When he would come to Puri, he would just take the remnants of the food that comes out of the Jagannath temple. He would wash it on the beach or wash it on the seashore, and then he would take some remnants out of it. So and after that, when he went to Vrindavan, he would take just a cup of buttermilk. So here we see Raghunath Das Goswami. He got a license to enjoy, but he didn't, which is what Harishan Prabhu was telling. And what I'm telling here is note when to use it, how to use it carefully. Like especially children have an intense desire to enjoy. Give it fully to them to enjoy. They will never learn what it means to control the senses. If you go the opposite end, even then it is a problem. Uh, I mean, if you always talk to them about controlling your senses, even then it's a problem for them. They will feel that I am being repressed, and they will just at some point in time they'll be waiting to just breathe. They'll feel suffocated at home. So we need to take a right call, and the right call actually comes by we ourselves naturally uh, coming to the stage of renunciation, which is when we are saturated with engagement with Krishna. Naturally, we would not want to enjoy tasty food, or we would naturally not want to search out for objects of enjoyment as such. Whatever comes is fine. It would come naturally. Our real problem is that we want to portray ourselves that I belong to that stage of achievement. I have come to that stage of achievement. And I not just I want to showcase, for many people, it may not be showcase. It will be that I will not be valued in my community of people if I don't showcase that I'm at that level. And to create this hype, or just to give this sort of an impression, we end up doing it. We feel guilty if we enjoy something or something. Many other feelings come about. And for that reason, we sacrifice certain things. Sacrifice is not for, I have so much to do, I don't have time for it. That's a nice way to sacrifice. There's too much to do for me. Taking anxiety for Krishna is a way in which we can let go of material hankerings. Instead of taking anxiety for Krishna, the other side of thing is I am going to say no to this, no to this. The process of neti, that is unnatural. Uh, that's one point from yesterday, and from today, it is. I like when Maharaj said that Mahaprabhu appeared in here, and the Goswamis made their residence as Vrindavan. They chose their residence as Vrindavan to help and to serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The way he liked to see everything as, and every expression as that for service, because his own life is that of service. That's it, Maharaj.
Thank you, Prabhu, for mentioning those very important points. In fact, that balancing act is the most difficult thing. Austerity, how much austerity, sacrifice, how much sacrifice. But that you said very nicely that it should come naturally, and then probably it will sustain and it will help also. Thank you, Prabhu. So thank you all. We will discontinue today and we will resume tomorrow. वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।